Alright, just another second while I pull my shit up, and we're good to go. I swear, this thing like does things with the order. Can we just put the bookmarks in the order that I put them in the whatever? Alright, so now I've got to figure out. I have to start unbookmarking stuff so that it goes away and I don't have to fight with this. Like, why is stuff from days and days and days ago, or like literally last week, on top of stuff that I bookmarked just yesterday? And the date. I mean, it's not like it's a date issue. It's not like it's organizing my date. I should make sure you people can hear me. Oh yeah, we're good. Though I was told the other day maybe the music's a little loud versus my voice. Let's turn that up. Yeah, my mic is low, isn't it? Let's turn that up a little more. Come on. Really? There we go. Turn that down a little more. Let's see where it spikes out. I'm not going to touch the other things. If I touch that, I'll touch that later. Anyway, where was I? Okay. Got that. Talked about that. I feel like I'm missing something. Nope, not missing anything there. And then I wanted to include this. Alright, I think we got everything now. Alright, I suppose I should organize things, huh? Well, we'll talk about that first because it's the biggest deal. And then we'll include that. Good in that order. Down to the end, because I'd really rather talk about that one. That. Alright, in that order. I guess maybe I could leave that on. There we go. There I am. Alright. Close that. Hop in. Yeah, because maybe I should mute my mic during that part. I don't know. Do you guys like to hear me babbling while I'm setting that stuff up? Let me know if you have an opinion. If not, if you don't have an opinion, that's fine. So yeah, Monday morning. It's a Monday morning. Isn't it lovely? Monday mornings are fine. They exist. We lived through the weekend. We start a new week. So, what are we talking about this week? Well, mostly we're going to be talking about Saber Interactive, some video game stuff. Apparently most of what I talk about is video games. Because I just bookmark things I like and then I pull them up here. So that's what we do. But let's go ahead and instead of torching you guys trying to filler, I'm just going to start talking about things. So actually I'm going to take a drink of water first. 1 second. Stay hydrated, folks. Water may eat through rust, but will also keep you alive. Anyway, Or eat through metal. Cause rust. You know what I mean. So, over the weekend, lots of fun stuff happened. The one I found the most entertaining was the situation with the Saber Interactive CEO. Saber Interactive is one of the companies involved with the Hellraiser game, which we've covered before and looks fucking amazing. And apparently one of their former employees decided to start being a little bitchy, which, I mean, they are a man on excess hormones, so I suppose it makes sense, huh? But the CEO was asked to comment on the situation. And I'm sure you've seen the comment 100 times, but for clarity's sake, we'll go over it here. Plus, it's funny. So the CEO was asked, you know, about the person who quit, and he says, Stella who? I had to ask Claude because I'd never spoken to her or seen her. We have already said we are using AI for certain parts of the game, and will update the Steam page once we have finalized the feature set. Now, the funny part about that is that this person is claiming that they were replaced by AI. Let me clarify that the entire story script, were it to win an award, would go to someone who can walk up on stage and receive it, basically saying that the script was written by a human. It was always our intention to reveal this until Stella violated her confidentiality clause and revealed this before we were ready. And by reveal this, they mean she pushed them into saying, you know, this was actually written by a human. We were always going to tell people it was written by people and that we've used AI on other stuff. But, you know, since you're going ahead and someone else has decided to say it before we were there, here we are. We look at our use of AI in this particular game, which will be lower priced, we look at our use of AI in this particular game, which will be a lower priced title, as a plus for consumers. Which means they're saving money where they can. As far as Stella is concerned, she was replaced by someone more talented and terminated for a variety of reasons a few months later. From what I can gather, she enjoys controversy even more than I do. I would frankly, in retrospect, have been happy to replace her with AI. At least we'd be dealing with someone programmed to be honest. And of course, people lost their mind over this. They thought this was just absolutely the worst possible thing you could say. I, on the other hand, think it is the more hilarious thing to say. We are entering a world where people are going to blame AI for everything. You know, initially it was other people. Initially, you know, well, we need to blame the men. Now we need to blame the people who aren't accepting us for pretending to be women. Now we need to blame white people or whatever in the world, you know. It's always somebody else's fault when something happens to certain people, you know. It's never something they did or could have improved or that somebody just did better. It's always something else's fault. And AI will be extremely easy to blame since it can't defend itself. And they can make other people look bad for defending any use of it through a variety of ways. It'll be interesting to see how the world progresses as we get more into our use of AI, which is going to happen. I mean, it's one of those things that it doesn't matter how you really feel about it. It's going to happen. It's like when we discovered fire. You think everybody was excited about fire? No, that shit destroys stuff. It's hot. It burns people. But people kept using it anyway, and we gradually got better at using it. And same thing with the wheels, same thing with the motor, you know, steam production. Every time humans discover something new, the majority of the population is at first like, oh God, no, this isn't safe. We can't do this. It reminds me of who said that? It was one of the most hilarious things I've seen that somebody said. We'll ask Grok real quick. No. Hopefully Grok can figure it out from what I just typed, because I don't remember the exact words of the quote. Ah, yeah. So here we are. It was Paul Krugman. Oh, God. He's a Nobel Prize winning economist, believe it or not. And this is what he said about the internet back in 1998. The growth of the internet will slow drastically as the flaw in Metcalfe's law, which states that the number of potential connections in a network is proportional to the square of the number of participants, becomes apparent. Most people have nothing to say to each other. By 2005 or so, it will become clear that the internet's impact on the economy has been no greater than the fax machines. Oh boy. Now, when you look at the world today, that was just 1998. Just look at how wrong he was between 1998 and 2005. It's like, holy shit, man. Could you have been more wrong? And no, he really couldn't have, but Krugman's always been kind of a... That's a separate issue. Economists are frustrating. I'll put it that way. But people's reaction to AI today reminds me a lot about the reaction to the internet as I grew up. I mean, obviously, I had a little bit of pre-internet time in my younger years, and then as it became more of a thing growing older and all the way through today, I've gotten to see a lot of that evolution and how that's worked, and how today most kids are so plugged into the internet. I think if you unplugged them, they would short circuit, which is unfortunate. We do need to be better at teaching our kids to be more grounded in the real world. But at the same time, technology is a part of life. Short of a solar flare coming in and wiping out everything, they are going to have to be able to use it. You can't completely cut your children off from technology because it will be a part of their adulthood. And it is better for them to understand how to use it safely, and to give them supervision and guidance as they get older, as opposed to cutting them off entirely. Not saying that people shouldn't give their kids internet-free childhoods or whatever they want to do. I'm just saying that it's important to make sure that you establish rules and situations for them so that they can learn to understand that at an early age and develop the skills ahead of time, as opposed to, just getting old enough and then all of a sudden having the entire world basically just flop down in their lap and people expecting them to just know what to do with it. But back to the actual conversation. AI is coming, whether you want it or not. How the future will shape that will be interesting. But of course, hold on, we'll listen to this in a second. I want to cue it up at the beginning and cover the whole thing. So the CEO says this, and people lose their minds. Oh my God, how could he? That is awful. Whoa. Oh no. And so then you get this clip of Nick Calandra and apparently some guy named Marty Silva of the Second Wind, a group that, honestly, I stopped paying attention to them ages ago. They had a whole bunch going on with the whole Grums thing way back in, was that just last year? No, that would have been 2 years ago, back in 2024, I want to say, when I was on my make a video every day kick and then got burnt down on doing that. I did it for over a year. I was very proud of myself. Unfortunately, I got to figure out a way to get back to maybe not doing a video every day, but figuring something out. It's beside the point. So they hear about this, and I'm just going to let you see their reactions. Actually, that's really quiet. Can I turn that up? I can. Let me make sure that you guys are going to be able to hear it. Nope. That was silly of me. Oh no, it's there. Never mind. Alright.
I would frankly, in retrospect, have been happy to replace her with AI. At least we would be dealing with someone programmed to be honest. Luigi Mangione, where are you at? What is...
Now, to be entirely fair, Nick didn't say it first. It's this Marty guy who said it. It's just, damn. Apparently stating that you don't remember who a employee is and that you wished that you had to work with someone who was honest is worth referencing the fate of a healthcare CEO.
What's going on here? These people are fucking inhuman.
And then to go on and call him inhuman. So that's, honestly, I know a lot of people are going on about the whole, oh, he referenced the Luigi Mangione situation. He's calling for assassination or whatever. I'm more of in the camp that the moment you start calling somebody inhuman, I know he says these people, but, you know, he's obviously referencing game development CEOs. Specifically the one in the conversation, because that's how logic works. And calling him inhuman. All it takes is one psychopath to decide, well, obviously this means I should go remove somebody. And maybe it's not exactly his fault. Let's face it, if anybody said anything remotely like this about anyone they liked, they'd go crazy. So it's kind of a tit for tat situation on that one, in my opinion.
We just need to start holding up a sign for Luigi.
There you go, yeah.
And that was honestly the whole, it's interesting that Nick's getting himself so involved in it, and he wasn't the one who even said the worst of it. It was this Marty guy. But Nick's a drama whore. No matter what anybody else says, he likes to stir things up and then act like he's the victim. He's one of those cry bully bullshit artists. And he's very good at it. I mean, he basically pulled it the entire time he was in Second Wind. Or, well, The Escapist and then into Second Wind. So the fact that he's continuing it on just isn't surprising. Now, the situation didn't... Oh, I didn't need this one. Let's get rid of that one. So we're going to go with this one where PC Gamer posts, obviously, things. Saber controversy almost closes on high note with CEO apology. And of course, they can't possibly let this guy off the hook because, you know, where's the fun in that? Hi, Robust. How you doing? But I've already read. Why are you making me write this stuff? Nobody's making you write this stuff, Ted and Andy. You're choosing to write this stuff. You can go find a real job. You don't have to write it. So apparently Stella states that they received a private message. Is that a link to somewhere? Hold on. Oh, great. I didn't click on that earlier. So, hey everyone. Last night, to my great surprise, I received a long email from Saber Interactive CEO Matt Karch. He apologized unreservedly for the awful way he spoke about me in the press. The email's full text will stay between us. I'm not that kind of girl. Yes, you are. but I have confirmed it was from him. Matt said he regretted escalating and how people online were speaking about me. I'm not worried about being called slurs by random commenters. I'm a trans woman. That's every day for me. But it stunk to have my skills and reputation built of 20 years in the game industry publicly malaligned by somebody with institutional power. Bitch! You were whining because you were saying you were replaced by AI, and you weren't. How is it okay for you to lie? One thing I saw people saying about me, and that Matt fueled the flames of too, was that it was not my first time calling a former employer out. So I must love drama or be hard to work with. The truth is, bad treatment is everywhere in games. I'm just more willing than others to call it out. And I call it out, so maybe others will be willing too when it happens. I have been firm from the beginning that I was telling the truth. I think we can all agree that's been borne out. No, it's not. Depending on what was in that email, but Matt expressed a desire to make it right with me. At this time, I don't really know what that looks like for me, and I'll have to take some time to sit with it, but I do at least accept his apology. None of this changes my stance on AI. Matt and I obviously differ on this, and as a CEO, the consequences of its use fall on him, and unfortunately, also on his employee. Apologies are simply too short a supply in these days to spurn when one is offered. God willing, this is the last statement I'll need to make about this. You should have been making statements to begin with. Especially if you were under some kind of confidentiality clause. And of course, Blue Sky just keeps talking about how it's, but she's in that bubble, so who cares? Oh, interesting. In a separate post on LinkedIn, Karch reflected on the controversy and seemingly alluded to his personal contact with Seiko, but notice they don't include that. Let's take a look. We're just gonna follow the links. Uh-huh. Public statement. I don't... Why don't anybody ever link to the other thing, huh? Let me see here. I don't want to go on LinkedIn. That requires me to remember how to sign in. They're gonna just let me sign in like this? Oh, it might. Oh, cool. That works. What's his name? Steve Karch? Hold on, I'm working on it. there's that. I don't care if you can... Well, whatever. People? Okay, I'm not having a lot of fun with this. This is irritating. I don't recommend this. I don't. This is okay. We give it one more click, and if I don't find anything else, I'm moving on with my life. Maybe this is why nobody's included it in their thing. What's his name again? Matt. I don't know, I thought it was Steve. Alright. Okay, here we go. Put this over here on this one. I got it. Yay me. Alright, so Matt Karch says, I have had an insightful week reflecting on the unwritten rules and expectations placed on modern CEOs. Navigating public scrutiny, media narratives, and industry shifts come with the territory, but it also offers a few valuable lessons. Public reactions are rarely symmetrical. As a CEO, you aren't afforded the luxury of responding in kind, even when you feel wronged. Anything beyond a measured statement invites further drama and tags you as the aggressor. I mean, this is true. For many, true leadership often means forgoing the natural human urge to debate, to criticize, or to speak from the heat. Choosing silence or composure instead. I always felt silence was worse, but apparently it keeps the talking heads from talking. He's not wrong. The more you talk, the more other people talk about you. The question is how valuable what you say has, how valuable what you say is. Media relationships have boundaries. Journalists and commentators have a job to do, and driving engagement will always take priority over personal rapport. It is a professional dynamic, not a personal friendship, and should be treated as such. Interesting comment there. Consider the source of online commentary. The digital ecosystem thrives on outrage and surface-level takes. Case in point, a 26-minute video essay from a well-known writer of some classic games who dedicated it entirely to analyzing a single sarcastic quote of mine, pretending he knew exactly who I am, which somehow concluded with remarks about my physical anatomy and encouragement to accost me. When industry analysis devolves into public insults and threats, it says far more about the creator than it does about the subject. Relying on outrage algorithms for industry insights is a trap. Oh my god, I can understand why they didn't include this. Resolve issues human to human. Escalating disputes through media channels or public statements rarely solves anything. Real resolution happens through direct personal connection. If you cross a line, own it directly with the person involved. So I guess he feels he did actually cross a line with his comments. And being the CEO of a business, that does put him in a position. I still don't think she deserved an apology. Stand firm on technology and innovation. Emerging tech like AI will always provoke strong reactions. While industry shifts are uncomfortable, hiding from them isn't an option. Our focus should remain on leveraging new tools to create better experiences and thoughtfully adapting our workforce for the future, regardless of the noise. Accept the standard of the role. Leaders are often viewed as figureheads rather than individuals, and the standard applied is fundamentally different. If direct, candid conversation isn't possible in the public eye without heavy PR filtration, then strategic restraint is the best path forward. Seems to me he was mostly worried about the journos running with it, damaging the reputation of, which is a fair concern for a CEO. I just know most of us wish they wouldn't cave sometimes. He is an individual, whether or not they treat him like one. Leadership isn't about pleasing everyone. It's about staying focused on the long-term vision, learning from friction, and keeping your eyes on the work that actually matters. And again, that makes sense. He doesn't want this fight distracting from reporting on the actual games, which, let's face it, we both know. Like, there's, well, for all I know, there's only 2 people here. We all know. Many of us know that they will absolutely, they being the games journalists, will absolutely run with anything that they feel will damage somebody if they also then feel that that somebody isn't on, quote, their side, end quote. And by making the statements he did, he sort of revealed that he's not on their side. So it is somewhat in his best interest to squash that so that he doesn't have to spend the next months listening to games journalists whine about the fact he was a little mean once. For some like me, fighting my urges is one of the hardest things I have to deal with. 25 years on, I still feel like I'm running a small company of my closest friends. There's a reason that there are different CEOs for different sized businesses, and it's important to know what kind of CEO you are. You either learn the lesson and adapt, or you move into the chairman role. Damn. I mean, I still don't feel she deserved the apology, but I am also not necessarily going to hold it against him entirely. I can understand why he did it, and there might be more in the background that we don't know about. Maybe she was actually replaced with AI. We did see some of that in the other comment that I kind of glossed over, because I was more interested in finding this since nobody actually included it. But, you know, I still feel like replacing some people is better. I mean, even with what... Sorry, I was unplugging something while talking. Did I leave that up? I think I did. I didn't accidentally unplug my camera, did I? I feel like I've lost... I didn't unplug it. I think I turned it off. Wake up. Ah, shit. We lost tracking, guys. Give me a second. Hold on, I'm gonna disappear for a second. Yay, technical difficulties. I am a voice from the void. There we go. That's what I get for playing with my chords while I'm talking. Yes, I did leave this up. Let's see here. Oh, we'll open this up. Is this, yeah, okay. So, this talks about rideshare simulator updated. Matt Karch explained the Steam page will be updated once the feature set is finalized. We are touting this as an experimental mode as You're touting this experimental mode as a feature, not shying away from it. Okay, so I would like to see what the rest of that query said, but whatever. PC Gamer garnered a response from Seiko in relation to Saber's comments. They can say what they want. I was there. I even posted on Facebook about it on the time. I have mentioned it on Blue Sky several times without using the game's title, she said. They took me off the project to use ChatGPT to write the rest of the text, including planned live updates, she reiterated. If they changed plans in the intervening years, that's great. But again, I was there. It was my job to write the game, and then it wasn't once Matt Karch decided using ChatGPT would be great publicity for the game. If he decided it would be great publicity for the game, why didn't he say that? Why hasn't ever that been said? It's either they're trying to hide it from everybody, or they're trying to use it for publicity. There's not really an in-between on that. They never came out and started saying that they were using ChatGPT. They just said that they hadn't even announced it yet. So there is information here that we're not getting, that we don't have, and they are trying to play off in other ways. And I 100% believe that. I believe we are missing information, and that because we're missing information, people are trying to fuck it around. Elaborating on her comments further on social media, Seiko remarked, my boss, to his credit, argued over and over with the C-level push the AI. We already have Stella, and she's funny, and she's good at this. She's done live games before, so live ops are no problem, etc. But the suite insisted gamers love new tech, so using AI would be great marketing. To be clear, this was an issue with 1 to 2 AI dummy higher-ups at Saber. She later clarified, I have no beef with the Unit Engine team. So yeah, if I was to extrapolate from the information given, which take with a grain of salt, obviously I do not have all the information. It sounds like they are doing something with live updates that they are going to have interact with an AI on the back end for conversations, maybe even set up, just game AI, what game AI does, except a little less directly scripted, because there's what AI does now is a lot more like what we thought it did back when we were kids. Back when I was kids. Never mind. God, I'm old. And because of that, and maybe some other things, this person lost their job, and they're using this, they're mad at AI for the fact they lost their job because there's other things going on. But the idea, I don't know, there's a lot going on here. But yeah, so that's the whole on that, with more information than we had before, because I have issues. I can't believe I talked that for... Yes, back when I of course I was multiple people at one point. I don't know why you're surprised by that. But we're going to go ahead and move on to something that... Oh no, I've already talked about this. Why did I include that? Shit. That's fine. Now, what I did want to talk about, because I don't understand this, and maybe someone can enlighten me. Tides of Annihilation has revealed the new look for their character. For their main character... has revealed the new look for the main character, Gwendolyn, now that Jennifer English is no longer voicing her. So, why do we need a new look? I mean, obviously, they're doing one-to-one or close to one-to-one facial recreations for these characters in this game. Or I guess they feel it's important that the face of the character looks the same as the face of the voice actress. Never a big fan of this. Actually, kind of entirely against it. Not entirely against it, I guess, but a little against it. I think these characters shouldn't look like they're voice actors. Let's put it this way. I mean, it can sometimes, but at the same time, it shouldn't... You shouldn't have to basically rebuild all the faces in the game because you lost an employee. It shouldn't be necessary. The character should look like the character. The character shouldn't be, and maybe that is part of the problem right there. Helza Selin, you're probably kind of close to the point with saying maybe the old look was part of the contract. And some people, especially today, some voice actors are very big on making sure that they leave their personal imprint on the character as opposed to the character getting to be the character and that person becoming the character. That character is supposed to be, I guess, a part of them somehow. And I'm just not thrilled with it. I really do prefer my video game characters be the video game characters and I don't ever have to think about the voice actor. I mean, there are people out there who follow specific voice actors and track them from role to role. I'm not one of them. I'm a person who just genuinely prefers... I don't know anything about the voice actors. I mean, it's cool if I could connect a couple occasionally. Or, you know, maybe I pick up an inflection or something that, oh, this is the same voice actor as X. But it shouldn't be obvious. It shouldn't be, you know, oh, this character was voiced by this actress and they're going to be great. Especially not when you consider Jennifer English's, what is that, 1968 Ex Voto? The character, the voice acting in that was not particularly great. And maybe that was just part of the game, as they decided to go with the closest facsimilation of the voice actress, and thus she's no longer doing it, so they have to change the character. And in here you see... Did they add? Interesting. So... Huh. Obviously not from the same point of the game. But, I mean, they obviously changed the hair color. They changed the hairstyle a little. This is darker on this character than it is on the original. Interesting. I don't know. But, I don't know. That is what it is. I don't know how I feel about this game. Honestly, I'm not too excited for it. I know a lot of other people are. It's not going to be a Souls-like, from what I've seen. Let's get rid of that. Yeah, we'll go with that next. All right. That was brief. Don't mind me. Just wanted to ask that question in general, I suppose. So now here is a conversation that has to be had. As Niles here says, this is a hard pill to swallow for many people. And this is about why you can't just bring back the people who made the games we love and have them be great again. And there's a combination of issues here. So Niles first says, as someone who worked at old school Bungie in its heyday, I just want to be honest about the hire the old Halo devs back posts. Hard to swallow pills. It would be very difficult, or impossible, to resurrect the old magic, and it is very likely this will never happen. And that's the problem with old magic. At some point it burns out, and then you have to find new magic. By the way, this is not limited to Halo, obviously. This is generally true of most creative endeavors in multiple collaborative mediums. Here's why. 1. The devs are not the same people they once were. People change, tastes change, and personal priorities change. They're likely not as hungry and driven as they once were. It doesn't mean they're less talented per se, but they're not the same people. And honestly, the people they were when it was created is part of how it got where it was. The magic of old school Bungie was a very specific formula of talent stacks and personality types. You generally need % of this old formula for success. Remove one piece and you might not see a big difference. Remove multiple pieces and the formula collapses. You could feel the slow degradation of Bungie over the Destiny years. It was a death by 1,000 cuts, 5 to 10 specific cuts that doomed the studio. You can't just hire a few old school devs and expect it's going to be like it was in the good old days. Many of the old schoolers didn't like working with each other, or they grew to resent each other. This is a very common trend in creative production. Great movies are made by people that ended up hating each other. Great albums are made by artists that will never speak to each other again. Game devs are like a high drama family that isn't bonded by blood. Some of the most insanely talented people I know don't like each other, but we're both required for success. It is just a fact of life and the human condition. I'm not convinced that most gamers actually want another innovative Halo game. Yeah. I mean, yes and no. I'm sure there are plenty who would love one. I think they mostly want to recapture the feeling they had back in the day. They want nostalgia, but Halo games were very forward-thinking at the time. It's hard to resolve nostalgia with innovation. It's hard, but it's not impossible. It can be done. Many of the old devs are very innovative thinkers. They would make changes that would upset the fan base. This presents a monkey paw situation. Now, a lot of the changes they would make are part of because their personalities, their thought processes, their ideals, their view on the world has changed. That is part of why it wouldn't work. Because if you want that old feeling back, the people that made the game don't have those feelings anymore. They've moved on. They moved on from those thoughts. And they would now want to make something that reflects who they are today. And this presents a monkey paw situation. All that said, I do think Microsoft should 100% be consulting with the old school Halo devs. It's been very foolish not to do this. It would be beneficial, and I would only expect marginal returns. It's not going to fix the fundamental problems. Please don't read this post as a black pill. I'm simply giving my honest views based on my experiences, and it's always better to have realistic expectations. I'm actually very optimistic. The future is bright. Elite game development is alive and well. It resides in the hearts of young developers who are passionate and willing to sacrifice their livelihoods to change the world. We just need more resources pushed in their direction. As always, I encourage everyone to support honest indie game devs, and which is part of why I really like him. Is he of course he understands. He is an indie game dev, so he's got the multiple points of view on it. He's been in that AAA high stress team space. He did say he left before the team got too big, but he did see how the expansion of the team was really starting to affect game development. And that's part of where we run into the issue. The one thing, I did post this, but I did say that the one thing that he missed was that the environment has changed as well. There's so many more rules in the AAA game development space. There's so much top-down control. They have spent so much time trying to turn success into a formula that they stopped realizing that part of success is messy and can't just be recreated by walking through the same steps. Success isn't a science, it's really more of a magic. Yeah, you can have everything that was there once, but if you don't have the same feeling then the magic just isn't there. And I mean, maybe there's elements of luck to it as well. There's a lot of things that have to happen just right for true breakout success. You can't just create it on an assembly line. And that's what a large AAA studio, something with investors and CEO boards and all that stuff, that's what they want. They want something that they can predictably pump out and make money. And they honestly don't care if it's a huge breakout success. What they really want is to make enough money to make themselves more money. That's how that works. And, you know, that's fine. You're always going to have mediocre games that people play occasionally, but for the great games, which will always be few and far between, you need the real magic. You need people who are hungry and want to create something new and amazing and inspire feelings and emotions and make things happen. That's part of good game dev. Ah, crap. There was something I was going to say. Now I can't remember it. Oh, right. That's what it was. It's one of those things that I think people who aren't creative but want the publicity, attention of being creative, don't understand. So there's two ways people think of creativity. The first is, you know, well, I get to make up whatever I want, and it can be whatever I want, no matter what it is. And that's creative freedom. That means that I don't have any rules on what I'm making, and I get to do all these things that I want to do. That's not creative freedom. Creative freedom is the freedom to be yourself, voice your ideas, and maybe there is rules on the content that you have to create. For example, if you're working with Spider-Man or somebody else's character in general, there might be boundaries. Like the character has to be straight. The character has to be certain, should be white. The character should be in love with this person. And now you have to go and you have to write a story. Yes, there are creative rules on the story you can write. But how you express yourself outside of trying to write that story is really important. I don't know how to explain it. When you're so focused on following a real life rule set, when you're trying to follow rules that have nothing to do with the world that you're creating, that is a detriment to creativity. Not being able to think in your honest, normal thought patterns when you have to instead think, well, what if black people don't like this? Or what if trans people don't like this? Or what if gay people with dogs don't like this? That is a bigger detriment to creativity than this character I'm writing is straight. Because maybe the character you're writing is straight, but what other stories can you make with that? And if you're so worried that the fact that the character is straight might piss off gay people, you're not going to be able to write something that is creative. You're going to write something that you think will appeal to somebody else, and those are two different things. It's hard to really explain it very well. I'm going to have to sit down and think with it for a bit, and maybe I'll write a post, but it's one of those things that I might be able to express better in writing. But the two different ideas of creative freedom are vastly different. And one is far more conducive to actual creativity than the other. Just because of how the human brain works. And it's going to be one of those things that sits in my brain for a while. And maybe I'll be able to explain it, maybe I won't. We'll see. I'll keep thinking about it. But we are wrapping up on the hour. I have babbled enough. I have said a whole lot, learned some things, interesting things now, that I'm going to reflect on in regards to that whole Saber Interactive situation. Not that it's really going to change anything. I'm still buying Hellraiser. I don't care if they put AI in it. That game looks good. If AI made that game better, I'm totally happy. The fact that I will be curious to see what happens with that that car game, whatever it's called. I said it a few minutes ago. I don't know what it is. The rideshare game. Yeah, rideshare. That's what it is. I'll be interested to see what happens with that. And maybe, you know, if it's cheap enough, maybe I'll give it a shot. We'll see when it comes out. But it doesn't sound like it's too close to coming out later. And it doesn't even sound like that there's really decided what AI even does. Or they're still figuring it out. I'm probably figuring out how to say it. But anyway. I'm gonna battle my way on out of here. Gonna go do the work stuff and have my day. You guys have a great day. I will not be streaming tonight. I will be back here tomorrow with some more stuff to babble about, probably. So you guys take care of yourselves. Have a good night, and I will catch you later.